They are doing it the wrong way. That's why people fail. There are things that convert possibilities to reality. That something is possible does not need to happen. Every tree can make you.
Ladies and gentlemen, imagine being able to live the life of your dreams.
You can't rush destiny. You can't rush greatness. You can't overmake greatness. That's why among great food, Indomie is not inside. The simple truth is that everything good takes time. Time is important. Time is the most significant word in the word process. So they say in the process of time came and Abel came. In the process of time, meaning they won't be processed if there's no time. Take time to build whatever you are building. Time is vital.
I shared this story here last week. It also came out again in one blog today. The lady that said she used her immorality to secure her degree. The university has revoked it and have asked her to return the certificate. And why am I saying that? It is simply because Dr. T.P. Shea said that morality is a spiritual policeman that protects and serves you, and that immorality is a spiritual thief that robs you of many things. It can rob you of many things. It has robbed some of their lives. It has robbed some of their health. It has robbed some of their marriage. It has robbed some of their positions. It has robbed some of their jobs. It is what it is called, a thief. It does not come without taking something from your life. I gave you an analogy. It robbed Samson of his eyes. It robbed Judah of its staff. So we must begin to pay so much attention to the things that matter. Life does not equal things. Write that down. Life does not equal abundant things. I beat my chest to say it without any apology. Life is not about abundance. Life is not about abundance. Life is way, way more than having abundance. Life is way, way more than having plenty of money, plenty of fame, and plenty of noise. Life is about light. How does your presence add value to people? How does your presence increase value system in other lives? Is your life multiplying value system, or is your life damaging value system? And today we are taught about everything except these matters. I have chosen to take them up. You go to a bank, you see their core values. You go to a company, you see their core values. You Google Amazon, you see their core values. You Google Dangote, you see their core values. If corporations and companies are value-driven, why shouldn't individuals be value-driven in their pursuit of success and in their pursuit of fame and in their pursuit of glory? Why should we put personal values at the backside because we want to look big, rich, and strong? I don't know if you are listening to me and immorality has robbed you. Last week I said, when we talk about immorality, everybody will just, no, I'm not talking about just sexual alone. I'm talking about everything immoral. Everything immoral. Stealing is immoral. Lying is immoral. Cheating is immoral. Backbiting is immoral. False accusations are immoral. Uneven weight is immoral. So we must take these things very, very serious. And that's what we started part 1 last week, where I just established the need for morality. Where I'm saying we must begin to pay attention to the means to the end, not just the end justifying the means. the means must begin to justify the end. We must begin to ask people, how did you make it? We must begin to ask people, how did you grow it? We must begin to ask people, how did you arrive at that place? Morality is not a subject to be discussed. It's a life. It's a way of living. So I will want to define morality today, and then we go ahead and begin to look at what we need so that we can understand these things we're talking about. Last week I added that success is behavioral. Then I added that behavior is belief giving. It is who and what we believe that makes us behave how we behave. It is what and who we believe that makes us act the way we act. There are certain things you cannot do because of what you chose to believe. Beliefs empower us to behave. Beliefs empower us to behave. So behaviors are belief driven. When we find out you are acting mysteriously, we don't just ask why you are acting like that. We need to check. What do you really believe? Because the moment we know what you believe, we will know whether we are going to advise you or we are not going to waste your time. Why? Belief always births behavior. Belief always makes people act in a certain way. Someone will have loads of money, but it is found out that he did fraud. After 1 week, we will all forget that the money came through fraud and we'll be hailing him and be hailing his lifestyle. Why do we do that? It is because our belief system is massively faulty. So morality is actually a system of principles, a system of values that guides human behavior by distinguishing between right and wrong, good and bad. It is a system. And remember, for everything or for anything to be effective, it must be systemized. For any action to be effective, it must be systemized. Behavior is a system because it is acting repeatedly in a certain way. So morality is simply a system in itself, but it is a system of both principles and values that guides human behavior, that guides how human beings should behave in their pursuit of success, in their pursuit of income, in their pursuit of impact, in their pursuit of influence. By distinguishing right, wrong, good, bad. When God made Adam and put Adam in the garden, God put two trees and God said, don't eat this one. He gave him the right to choose and he counseled him in his choice. Yet man chose wrong. And we are where we are today. Our lives are a product of the consequences of our choices. The major experiences of our lives are consequences of our choices, whether good or bad. So if morality is a system of both principles and values, Today, I want to consider the principles of morality. I want to consider the fundamental rule that should guide how you act towards others and towards your community. I want to talk about the fundamental system that should begin to guide you anytime you want to take a major decision, anytime you want to take an action. There are certain things you should remember. So these fundamental guidelines, we look at it tonight, and then next week, Monday, we will look at the fundamental values. So these are common principles that should guide all of us. These are common principles that should guide all our behaviors, whether at home, whether in the marketplace. You will see how these principles preserve men and how it destroys them when they violate. First things first. Number one principle of morality is the principle of autonomy. This principle states that individuals have a right to make their own choices and decisions. In simple English, the principle of autonomy states that you have a right to choose and you have a right to decide what you want in your life. But is that enough reason why you should decide wrong? Is that enough reason why you should decide bad? No. But it is important you know that even God gave you the right to choose. Even God gave man the right to choose. Deuteronomy 30:19 says, I set before you life and death, blessing and curse, shame. He planted 2 trees in the middle of the garden. And he said, don't eat this. Meaning, in simple terms, choose this. The same thing in Deuteronomy. He said, choose life. Choice is your right. You have a right to choose. But though that you have a right to choose, what are you busy choosing? Are you choosing what is right? Or are you choosing what is wrong? Are you choosing what is good? Or are you choosing what is obviously bad? Why? Life is about choices and consequences. And that is also the third law of motion, that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Another fundamental thing is that you have a right to choose is also important for you to know that we are all so connected that your choice affects someone else. That's how connected the human race is. We are so connected. From 3 young boys, the nations of the world came to be. We are connected. And every choice any man makes, somebody is affected by it. If you make a choice in your office, it affects somebody. If you make a decision in your home, it affects somebody. If you make a decision in your community, it affects somebody. If you make a decision in your worship center, it affects somebody. Decisions have a long-lasting impact. It may shock you to know that choices and decisions have generational influence. Some family, their patriarch made a decision and it influenced their generation forever. Some other family, their patriarch made another decision and it messed up their lineage forever. That's true. So you have an autonomy. You have a right to choose. But what informs your choice? Good or bad? Right or wrong? So it's important for us to know that people have a right to choose and we must respect their right to choose. Today, this principle of autonomy has been carried way beyond its limits. Today, people are beginning to choose whether they should be men or women. Today, people are free to choose who they love, and it is no longer according to the natural order of God. A man now can choose to love another man and want to marry him. Steve is marrying Chris. Faith is marrying Mercy. Our right to choose is not an excuse to be immoral. Our right to choose is not an excuse to be immoral. That you have a right to choose what to wear does not mean you should wear dirty and indecent clothes. That's what it is. Not everybody really wants to see your breast. You have a right to choose, man. Sir, you have a right to choose. But it is not a license to promote evil, immorality, and wickedness. No. That freedom is responsible for the problem we're going through in our world today. You see it in the food we eat. You see it in the clothes we wear. You see it in the life we live. Autonomy. Please hear me. You have a right to choose, and that right must be respected. But it shouldn't be abused. And it shouldn't be misused. That's what I'm saying. Don't misuse it and don't abuse it. You have a right to choose, and it should be respected by all. But the next principle will tell you the limits of your right to choose. The next principle is beneficence. The principle of beneficence. This principle is the principle of doing good and acting in ways that benefits others. This principle asks the question, is what I'm doing promoting the well-being of other people? If what I'm doing improving the right of others to choose and to live? You hear that people sell fake drugs. And somebody needs that drug to be well, but rather he buys the fake one and it destroys his life. There was a situation in the paper recently of a girl that took fake drugs and died, and it happened in a hospital. You are selling expired drugs. You are selling expired products on your shelf. You are cleaning it. I remember when my baby was born, I went to buy some things for the baby. And unfortunately, the batch of goods that were there were already expired. But they cleaned the expiry date. Unfortunately for them, one of the product that we carried still carried that day. And all we could get when we got back there was, we're sorry we did. How will you say you don't know, for God's sake? What is your system for inventory? If you have stock, it's part of the stock, not the healthiness of the stock. Our desire to be rich is unhealthy in this generation. So we don't mind somebody buying something from us that we kill the person. Let's just get paid. How do you sleep at night that you have loads of money, but you are a killer? How do you sleep at night? Whatever you are doing should promote well-being of others. If you are into business, it should be to improve the well-being of others. If you are selling a product, it should be to improve the well-being of others. We should be driven by our interest to better this world, not destroy men. So that's the second principle. It is about promoting the well-being of others. It is about taking actions that are of great benefit to other people. This should guide your actions. Is what I'm doing of benefit to others? Is what I'm doing promoting the well-being of others? Is how I'm living my life inspiring or intimidating others? Is how I'm living motivating or manipulating others? Is my lifestyle promoting morality, or is my lifestyle promoting immorality? Principle number 3. Non-maleficence. Maleficenc. This principle is the principle of avoiding harm to others. Listen, every decision of your life should be guided by what I'm saying. Do man no harm. Don't start a business to do harm. Don't start a skill to do harm. Don't start a trade to do harm. Some people start a business with established structure to do harm. It is not obvious in the beginning. Suddenly, they harm the finances of people. They harm the morality of others. I want you to check your platform. Are you using it to harm people? I want you to check in your business. Are you using the power, the income, and the influence to hurt people than to improve their lives? It is not only doing good to promote their lives. In doing good to promote their lives, never plan to harm them. Let none of your action harm another person. Cain made a decision to kill Abel. He hurt him badly. Tamar's move, inasmuch as Judah was already driven by lust, Tamar intentionally put herself in a situation to enhance immorality. Delilah was paid to fake love and destroy greatness. Abner was counseled to harm Tamar. Shechem intentionally, even though it's in the name of law, harmed Dinah. Boyfriends have sacrificed girlfriends for money. Girlfriends have killed boyfriends for money. Wives have harmed husbands. Husbands have harmed wives. Brothers have harmed sisters. Sisters have harmed brothers. All in the pursuit of wealth, fame, and control. If we were living by this principle, a lot of families will be healthy. A lot of business environment will be healthy. Principle number 4, justice. Justice. This is the principle of fairness and equality. It simply says that we are all equal as human beings. We are not equal in the marketplace. We are not equal in positions. We are not equal in height, but we are equal in design. A male is not better than a female. A female is not less than a male. As a result of that, this principle says we should treat people fair, without bias, without favoritism. Whether it's in the workplace, whether it's at home, whether it's in church, whether it's in the mosques, we should treat people equally. We should have a standard for treating people. We should also give everyone equal opportunity. This principle encourages equal opportunity to male, to female, to boy, to girl. It also requires there should be a standard of compensation. If this is how everybody starts, let everybody start like that. If this is what every beginner gets, let every beginner get that. Stop showing favoritism and bias in your platform, in your church, in your home amongst your children. Stop it. It is violating the principle of justice that is a principle that governs behavior. Meaning what? In all your behavior, be just, be fair, and be equitable. That's the principle. That's the principle. You see, a lot of workplaces, justice is not there. A lot of homes, justice is made not there. The Bible says that the strength of a king, it is justice and righteousness. Justice and righteousness. They are the foundation of a throne. If you want to be a man of authority, you must be a man that is seen to be just. And this principle is the foundation of our legal system. But the legal system that is supposed to derive its foundational strength from this principle has been abused today. Judgments don't consider justice. A young boy stole 100,000. You sentence him to 20 years in prison. A man stole 20 billion. He's walking around with Prado Jeep under bail. That is not a fair system of justice. Justice that can be bought is not justice. Justice that shows favoritism is not justice. Justice that is biased is not justice. If the law is not ruling, then men are ruling the law. And that's what is obtainable in our generation today. If you are poor, justice prevails over you. If you are rich, you can rewrite the judgment. Shame on us. Shame on us. Shame on us. Principle number 5, fidelity. This is the principle of being faithful and keeping commitments. Fidelity is the principle of being faithful in relationships, being faithful in jobs, being faithful at home, being faithful. That word is basically, that principle is basically about building trust in relationships. It is about building trust in relationship. Why? Faithfulness inspires trust in a relationship. If you have a job, that principle of fidelity is required in your job. It is required in your business. It is required in your home. It is required in your platform. It is required in your behavioral pattern, in your lifestyle. You must be seen to be faithful to someone or to something. You have to be faithful to God. You have to be faithful to your spouse. You have to be faithful to your boss. This principle is about loyalty. It's about devotion to a cause or to a person. Number 6, principle of accountability. Principle of accountability. This principle is about taking responsibility for your actions, being answerable for your actions. It is also about taking correction and making amends. As human beings, we make mistakes. As human beings, we choose wrongly. But we must be bold and courageous enough, because it takes courage to accept and take responsibility for what you have done that is not right. And it takes courage to amend it. It takes courage to apologize. It takes courage to ask for forgiveness. We're in a generation where asking for forgiveness looks like weakness, but it's great strength. It's the principle of accountability. You must be able to account for everything that is in your life. You must be able to account for time. How do you spend your day, your week, your month, and your year? You must be able to account for your body. You must be able to account for your resources. You must be able to account for your relationships. This principle is about taking responsibility, accepting the consequence, and amending actions. We must be seen to be accountable as followers. We must be seen to be accountable as human beings. We must. And the principle of responsibility means every action you take, you must measure it in line with your goals. If most of us are measuring our actions against our goals, we will be doing better today. Most of us take actions impulsively, emotionally. We are not rational in taking actions. We cannot account for why we did what we did. The principle of accountability is the principle of responsibility. It's taking actions with your future in mind. You are doing something today, but you're asking yourself, how will it look like tomorrow? How will it be seen tomorrow? You are saying stuff today. You are not asking yourself, what will that thing speak of me tomorrow? You are doing stuff today. You are not asking, how will it be said tomorrow? When you call and you say you use sex to get a certificate, how do you think it will be said tomorrow? Today you are single, tomorrow you are having children. Today you are single, tomorrow you'll be married. Yes, your husband didn't see it before he married you, but he will see it later. You must realize that actions today affect something tomorrow. Principle of accountability. And lastly, the last principle is principle of respect for others. In every decision you are doing, in every action you are taking, please remember, have respect for the dignity of everyone involved. You may be richer, but you are not better. You may be more powerful, but it doesn't make you better than those who follow you. Oga, you may own the company. You are not better than the people who work for you. You only have better results. You only have better cars. You only have better houses. We must begin to respect the dignity of everyone. That you are intelligent enough to make the right principle and produce results does not make you better than the guy still struggling to find the principles for his life. It is important to know that what you have does not make you better than who they are. Men were not designed to compare their persons. This is fundamental. You must respect everyone. Respect your house help. Respect your megad. Respect your staffs. Respect your spouse. Respect even your kids. Respect everyone. Today we size up people based on their clothes. We size up people based on their hair. We size up people based on their cars. We size up people based on their houses. Ladies and gentlemen, the first word of a man is not that of what he creates, it's that of who creates him. I repeat, the first value upon anyone is not first the value of what he creates or what he didn't create. It's about first who created him. And ladies and gentlemen, both the rich and the poor, God made them both. Every man has some value. Respect it. Every man has some dignity. Honor it. Don't take pleasure in trampling on men because they are down today. Don't take pleasure in abusing the esteem of others because you are up today. Ladder goes both ways. It can take you up and it can bring you down. I challenge you. Tonight I have established 7 principles that should guide your behavior. You have a right to choose. But your actions that you have chosen must be for the benefit of others. It must also do no harm to others. You must be seen at all times to be just, to be fair. You must accept responsibility for your life, and you must be answerable for all your actions. If you don't know, even God will judge you and I. We are going to give account to God. So you must better practice accountability now, because you will learn it by force. Because that is why Jesus will come again, to judge us, so that we can give him account of what we did with our life, with our time, with our deeds. I believe strongly that somebody heard me clearly, and that person is making up his mind that though I will become great, I won't become great by stepping on other people. Though I will become wealthy, I won't become wealthy by robbing other people. Though I'll become famous, I won't become famous by robbing and destroying the self-esteem of other people. Dear leader, if nobody heard me, you should hear me. Dear leader, if no one heard me tonight, you should hear me. You should allow these principles guide your life. Once again, I'm Elisha Mamman. I raise giants for a living, and I believe in the potential of men to glorify God and to dominate the earth. I love every one of you who listens to me. I trust and I believe someday, somehow, we will all be great and will remember one another. So thank you for spending this hour with me. I appreciate every one of you.